Stefan.
Hello, how are you? How good is that?
I'm like happy, relieved. Can I just say, I've had a slight insight into how difficult it must be for players and managers to give post-match interviews. Because 20 minutes ago, if you'd asked me questions about that game, it would have just been one long beep. Like expletive, Arsenal, expletive, Wolves, or something like that. It was, wow. It feels good, doesn't it?
But it feels weird. It felt really good at the end, because I guess, and the commentators kept banging on about that little bit of needle that seems to have grown out of these two games in quick succession. Just made it so much sweeter.
Oh, how frustrating were those Wolves players on the pitch? Remonstrating, going down, time wasting. Oh my words.
Yeah, I mean, I take all that with a pinch of salt, because we're no angels either, but it all adds to the theatre of it. And I just love it. And especially after Neves talked about, celebrating on the pitch, and then to win in injury time and celebrate like we'd won the bloody league.
I want him interviewed. I want to hear his interview. I'd be getting him out.
He won't be.
No, he won't.
I was just looking online before you came on, and the only ones I've heard from are Lacazette and their manager, Large, and Tierney. I was reading Kieran Tierney. Someone asked him, what did you think of that? That was really good. And he was like, it was. That's the kind of game you dream about when you're a wee guy. And I just love it. I just love everything about it. Great.
I'm not sure how to compartmentalize.
The problem is, so much happened, and in so many different ways. It does require segmenting, because if you look at it as the whole, none of it makes any bloody sense.
Right. Okay. So
ridiculous.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Let's get professional here. Yeah. Okay. So team news first of all. Kind of two surprises in so far as Emil Smith-Rowe obviously ill.
Massive disappointment.
Yeah. Because he would have started. I'm assuming he would have started, and
or even if he's on the bench, what an option.
Yeah, and no Tomiyasu. I thought he might start.
He warmed up in front of us at Brentford, didn't he? He was there.
Yeah.
And I assumed, with the game going well in the second half, there was no need to bring him on, and you don't really want to change defenders if you can help it. But for him not even to be in the squad is a worry, isn't it? That's another setback.
It's the calf. It's the calf again. Yeah. And I think he would have started against Wolves if he was fit. I think it's a tough game. It's not a Brentford at home game where you think you might get away with Cedric. I think Tomiyasu.
Although Cedric's acquitting himself okay.
I can't fault him. 3 games, he's done well.
Oh no. Yeah.
Right, so okay.
That's the team news.
That's the team news. No surprises with the Wolves setup.
No.
I actually thought, and I'm going to say this for the whole game, I know I had a slightly rosier view of our performance than you did. I think, apart from the striker, apart from Lacazette's performance, which I thought as a striker was poor, he kept. I think I read someone tweet that if you want an exercise from a striker to shoot when you're not supposed to and don't shoot when you are supposed to, it was encapsulated in one performance from Lacazette.
For all to see.
But I actually thought, apart from his performance as a striker, I actually thought we played well. I thought we dominated the game. And this is like, maybe I go back and watch it and see a completely different game. I'm not saying we created the chances. We did not. They absolutely, we should have been 2-0 down, ignoring the penalty. I'll come back to that. But we should have been 2-0 down when Jimenez kind of dragged the shot wide. And I loved Ben White doing that real cynical professional
Dive?
Yeah,
He
kind of.
didn't like the dive. Oh, no. I mean,
I-
don't get me wrong. The dive saved our bacon.
It was 2-0 without it.
He
It
was
was
away.
2-0 without it.
But no, I'm not having that. That was a bit naughty.
No, it was a thing of absolute beauty. And I'll tell you why. Because it wound up Connor Cody so much.
Oh, he was
still going on about it 5
him
minutes
and
later.
Neves were just
And who
all
are the
game.
who are the two players who came out and moaned about us celebrating a win?
They were so desperate to beat us.
It was why it was a thing of beauty, Stefan. I'll
Well,
stand by that.
It was a thing of beauty because we absolutely, I mean, you're a bit more positive about the performance. We didn't deserve anything out of that game.
I don't agree. I don't agree
at all. I don't get me wrong. Before the first goal, it's a 50-50 game. It's, them attack, we attack. Both teams fairly solid, but also both teams, not 100% convincing going forward. But there was something about the way we gave away the goal, and then for the next at least sort of 10 minutes, we were all at sea. Yeah. We were absolutely all over the shop.
Absolutely, we did. Our heads did go. We actually did well not to concede a second.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Towards the end of the first half, I am thinking, well, at least we've come back into it, and we are probing away, and we're, it just felt like a lot of bluster without any real, killer instinct. It felt like Wolves were just sort of holding us at bay.
Yeah, and the psychology of the game, or the psychology of the scoreline, probably fed into that for sure. I do think from the first whistle of the second half, I thought it was one-way traffic. I thought but again, you're right. That's because they were defending a lead, and they are very adept at defending a lead, as we know.
But they are.
Yeah,
they haven't lost a lead in 3 years.
It's which is incredible.
And for us to do that, oh my god.
Okay, go back to the ninth minute, and it was. Do you know what? It was the reason I can't relax as an Arsenal fan, despite our defensive improvements this season.
Oh, the ghost of Mustafi was very much present.
Now, someone tweeted that from the game that they heard Arteta shout "keeper" to Gabby keeper at the moment where he was deciding what to do, and the suggestion was that wasn't his natural decision. It was a kind of, I've heard that, I need to do it now. I don't know if that's true. It was still a poorly executed pass.
That's the thing, isn't it?
And Ben White was culpable as well. If you look at it again,
he doesn't he isn't even aware that Hwang is there.
Yeah, he absolutely does. He's watching the ball. He's not watching the players as closest to him. Not that he expected to happen, but you want that anticipation. But again, they're young defenders. But with Gabriel, did you see the block he got in the second half? Or was it the second half? No, it might have been the first half. It came off. It was given as a goal kick, but it came off his shin, and it just went past the post. It's like it saved an absolute certain goal, but the referee. I mean, the referee was. Do you want my referee pitch this time? Martin Atkinson, right? He's ref 3 matches of ours this season before tonight.
Oh, I think they said this in commentary.
Oh, did they? We've lost all 3.
Yeah.
We've conceded 2 red cards.
Yeah.
So we've had 2 players sent off, and he's awarded a penalty to the opposition. And that was a nailed-on penalty in the first minute, by the way. So I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The Wolves player got nothing on the ball and cleaned out Martinelli. I don't understand how that's not a penalty.
No, I agree. And then there was also a tackle not long after, a couple of minutes after, on Partey. But because it's in the middle of the pitch, he gives the foul. And it was the same sort of thing, a player kind of coming and blindsiding Partey, just the way that Martinelli was. Yeah, Atkinson didn't seem to have a huge amount of control in the game.
And I think probably for both teams, I'd suggest the Wolves fan
generally.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd suggest the Wolves fan would probably think the referee was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wasn't it nice? I'm all over the place in this game. To be fair, wasn't it nice that we scored the winner in the time wasted added time, you know.
On that substitution.
Yeah. Oh, well, what the hell was that?
I must admit, the Wolves manager in his post-match thing that came up on BBC Sport, he did apologise for that. He says it's his fault, miscommunication, changed his mind last minute.
Time wasting, another time wasting effort.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you take him at his
down.
word, he's changed his mind. If you don't, if you're more cynical, it is just a way to kill time and
they did it
bring
the
everyone's
whole
blood up.
game. The dark arts, they did it the whole game.
Yeah.
They were taking, you know, they were going down and no Arsenal player near them. I mean, I'm amazed Xhaka stayed on the pitch because he was getting wound up by them. And
he was later on.
Yeah.
I found, you know, for the first sort of hour, he had a really conspicuously quiet game where, you know, he wasn't even doing things badly. He was just kind of there, you know, propping up the midfield. Slightly more advanced, I've noticed nowadays.
Yeah, well,
Partey is definitely the holder now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that allows Xhaka to press from the front, but not dive in, last ditch.
True.
And I think that's a clever move.
Yeah.
If that's you know, the thinking behind it, that's clever, because I think that benefits Xhaka and the team.
Yeah, look at his red card this season. It was when he was last man and panicking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. To be fair, they scored. We did well to hold it together for 10 minutes. Then we
didn't hold it together for 10 minutes, but it didn't get any worse.
Yeah, because they had the Jimenez chance and then they had the Jimenez header. We kind of flattered to, what's that word? Flattered to deceive. Yeah. We had a lot of possession. Saka had a couple of really good take-ons, but in that central area in the penalty box, it was all very hurried. It was panicked.
I think flattered to deceive could also describe Wolves. And, you know, you mentioned Jimenez's header. Is he good at heading? He doesn't seem... I don't think he scores a lot with his head. You know, and he's a tall, you know, stocky striker. He's got a presence about him, but it never feels like an aerial threat. Yeah, strange.
Well, I mean, he must have been desperate to score after what happened last season there, because that was pretty horrific. I mean, he's doing well to be playing football again.
Yes.
It was an empty stadium, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the people there said that you could hear the
sound. Was brutal.
Not good. Not good. Did anything else happen in the first half?
Not particularly. Like I say, we had a few sort of half chances here and there, but nothing major. They blocked most of the stuff that came in. You know, Lacazette and I think Odegaard both had a shot blocked quite well, but they would again just keep it. Where we kept having success was Saka seemingly to find space between the kind of wing back and the centre back. But I don't know what it was about Saka. He kept frustrating me because he so much wanted everything on his left foot that, you know, where he could have exploited the space outside and cut back with his right, he didn't. You know, whether that would have made a huge amount of difference, I don't know. But...
Yeah, I mean, that's the flaw with him on the right side. Although, having said that, when Pepe come on in the second half and Saka moved to the left, he in the 94th minute or 3rd minute, he had that cut inside and that shot.
Yeah.
You know, it was another good save from the keeper. I was thinking,
Yeah. That came
in. So nothing. First half. I can't.
First half for me reminded me of the first half against Burnley and Brentford, where, you know, we had a lot of the ball and the play, but didn't really look like we were going to do anything. And again, I suppose you can argue it both ways. It's either a credit to Arteta for you know, getting us back up to a bit more intensity in the second half, or it's a sign of failing that we don't produce something a bit more incisive in the first half. But second half was definitely improved, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It was just a lack of that clinical presence up front in the first half. That it's and look, I genuinely think that I will look back on Lacazette's time as an Arsenal player with like in a positive light. I do. I think he cares. You know,
Can't fault his effort.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yes, absolutely. And he goes and he goes and he goes, and I'm amazed. I can't believe. I mean, I was screaming at, get him off, get him off. I was like Pepe, and then because the camera pans to Pepe, and I'm thinking, great, that's one part done. And it was Martinelli who came off. And actually, to be fair, Martinelli, I didn't think had a great game. I get frustrated by him. He doesn't lift his head up quick enough. But yeah, that was just today. I didn't think it was a particularly good performance from him today. Who was your man of the match? Like,
well, overall, it probably would have been a Wolves player.
No, I don't care about Wolves. You're on about. It's like, who was
for us?
I mean, for me, there was a standout player. Second half in particular, obviously, but
second half. I mean, Partey, I thought had one of his better games.
Yeah, he did well.
Odegaard had moments.
Yeah, for me, it was Odegaard. I just think he did not stop, and all the time watch him. I know you want Tierney as a captain, but for me, Odegaard has to be the captain. He did not. He was pointing. He was like 88th minute, 90th minute. It was all him. I think the guy's got such an engine. Like I'm actually quite excited about him as a player for Arsenal. I really am. I think we're actually going to benefit from what Real Madrid saw in the 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
I think he's it's too young going to a club like Real Madrid. Surely it must have been, and the pressure.
It's funny you say that because my wife was obviously watching the game while I was watching it, and you know she's up to speed on football, doesn't love it or anything like that, but you know can certainly input into a conversation. And when she heard the commentator talk about Odegaard and say, you know, he showed all that promise moving to Real Madrid at 16, but now he's looking like the player, just like you've said. And she turned to me and went, well, yeah, he was 16. It's like, actually, everyone talks about players, you know, coming to maturity and having their best years in their sort of mid to late 20s.
Yes, absolutely. 26, 27.
So, you know, actually, all right, he didn't, you know, set fire to the world. You know, we've been lucky with Saka and Smith Rowe, but how often does that happen, really? You know, Wiltshire came through very young and showed that promise, but, you know, injuries sorted.
He was overplayed in that season and suffered ever since.
And before that, Fabregas is the only other one I can really think of. I mean, everyone probably assumes because Messi did it, others should be able to do it, forgetting that Messi's a one in a generation player, absolutely. If not a one in every generation player. Do you know what I mean? We can't expect it. So Odegaard's a good player.
I actually think he's better than that. I just think not just for personality on the pitch.
Yeah.
You know, I just think he's switched on all the time. Now, he frustrates me a little bit in the opposition penalty box, I think, but he doesn't. Sorry, I know. I retract that. I think he's brilliant, and I think you're absolutely right. The received wisdom is that players will mature between, like, say, 26, 27, their best peak years. Look at who we've got. You know, we're going to have a team.
Yeah.
And I think we've fielded the 10 youngest or 16 youngest team selections in the Premier League this season. Easy. And that's with a Lacazette playing.
Yeah.
Or an Aubameyang playing earlier. And we've still managed that. I mean, I don't know where we're going to end up. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. All is still possible. But I'm glad this is being recorded, because if I start to have doubts and question, I must rewatch this, because this feeling. Look, I didn't feel like this on the 80th minute.
No,
I felt deflated.
It was all gone. It was all done.
Yeah, I felt deflated. I felt
poor performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think, I knew I had to talk to you about it afterwards. So I was trying to think, right, okay, what's my positive spin on it? And it's still looking at the table. We're still in with a shout. We still would have taken that position after 3 games this season. But the fact is, what did I say? I haven't got any takeaways for this one. But what was my one of my takeaways after the Burnley game, after the Brentford game? We found a way to win. We're starting to find a way to win. Now that's no one's turned a deficit against Wolves around for 3 years,
and yet this team have done it,
and we've done it without a striker, as we say, with our most informed player not playing, like potentially in terms of goal scoring. He's our top scorer this season, Smith Rowe. And our kind of right back, Tomiyasu, not playing. So yeah, I'm like, as you may have noticed, I'm buzzing.
Yeah, same.
It's
funny. I was messaging friends throughout the game, obviously quite a lot, and the conversation was up and down, despair to joy and all that kind of thing. And at the end of the game, I think we all sort of agree that on paper, this team isn't really all that. But there's something about them. There's something about, maybe it's their youth, their effort and their spirit.
Yeah.
And I think this is where Neves' comments come in about the celebration at the end, that this is a young team and they're doing things for the first times in their careers that they've ever done before. If they were 5 or 6 years down the line, they probably wouldn't be celebrating like this, but they've not done it yet. Ramsdale has had 2 relegations. Yes. Ben White has come up through the Championship. Yeah. Saka and Smith Rowe are academy products. They've not done this. So they're celebrating and they're enjoying that spirit. But we know that actually, on paper, all right, we're probably punching above our weight a little bit. But actually, like you say, finding a way to win, a kind of, back to the wall effort when needed, keep going until the bitter end attitude will get you, to a certain level, and long may it continue. The good thing is, the trade-off, because we don't have those standout players, it is unlikely that a lot of clubs are going to be sniffing around. Yes, there might be some bigger clubs who look at the likes of Saka and Smith Rowe because of their age and their potential. But the realistic, prospect of a club coming in and actually taking them away from us, I think, is quite low this summer.
Oh, I know. I think. Saka's got 2 years left in his contract, but why would they leave?
With the way things are building and the way things are going, you would look and say, right, well, the next 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, stuff could happen here.
Yeah. No,
and even then, even in 2 or 3, 4 years' time, I'm still going to be in my mid-20s. Loads of time for a move, if a move is needed.
And we're at a time in European football when the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona don't quite have that financial muscle. I mean, that they seem to be finding the money somewhere. So it would be a Chelsea or a Man City or a Newcastle, like with the money that would they maybe have that financial clout to lure them away. They love the club, and that these, as you said, this team is growing up in front of our eyes. And that bond and that chemistry that they're forging now that's what's winning us these games. You can't, because we don't have a stand-up play. So opposition managers are not quite sure where to focus their defensive strategy either. It's like, because we are quite, whereas last season it was Tierney down the left, and if you blocked that out, we were pretty impotent as a consequence. But now, Ødegaard through the middle, Ødegaard down the right, Saka down the right, Saka can come in, Emil Smith Rowe on the left-hand side, he can come in, Martinelli on the left-hand side. But it's like all of a sudden there's a multi-pronged attack, which is good. But I again, it's just that kind of, that spirit, that je ne sais quoi. It's like doing my best Del Boy impression there. It's that yeah, it's that kind of unquantifiable element that I think is why. And again, as I said, I think recently I was on the fence with Arteta in the summer. I had splinters. I was that on the fence. I think he deserves a lot of credit for fostering this attitude.
And someone, sort of explained earlier that is probably why Aubameyang had to go.
Yes.
Because if his attitude and his, conduct isn't what it needs to be, then you've got to take the hit short term to try and foster a different culture long term.
Yeah.
And it might come back to bite us if the goals are so hard to come by, but we're hoping that our
we've played 3 games, 2 of which have been against the meanest defence in the league, pretty much, bar City, I think. And we've scored 5 goals and conceded. Well, it's won the 3 games and scored 5 goals. It's not too shabby.
No.
And the Brentford 2-1 was a lot more comfortable than the 2-1.
Oh yeah.
Suggested. What was I going to say there?
I think January just being so bad has, painted a probably far worse picture than it needed to be. It doesn't help going out the cups and not really scoring a goal in January. That is a low time. But yeah, since then, things have turned around. I think that beating Wolves like that today is just incredible because, like you say, after 70, 80 minutes, it just didn't look likely at all. We've absolutely mugged them off. It's brilliant.
Did I not text you that we'd score 2 late goals? That we'd win 2-1? I did. I said, I messaged someone. I said at half time, I messaged someone and I said, it's all right, we'll win this game 2-1.
No, you didn't message me that at half time. You messaged me. I told you about Wolves having not lost a lead in 3 years when they've gone ahead. You said, well, records are there to be broken.
I think you'll find that a very prescient sentiment indeed.
Oh, it's come to me. That is unreal.
Right, so
can I talk about Pepe?
Yeah.
What do we do with Pepe? Because actually, I thought he was quite. There wasn't much else on the bench. Him and Nketiah were always going to be the changes made. But he looked all right.
Do you know his goal was a centre forwards number 9 goal.
It was a centre forwards goal. Well taken. Yeah. Knew where the keeper was. Took the ball in a different direction. Yeah.
Clinical finish.
Start him against Watford.
When is that? What is that?
A week Saturday, I think. Right, maybe Saturday. A week Sunday.
Where is it?
It's away.
It's away. I don't know. Or do you keep him? Do you keep him for the last 20 minutes against tired legs?
Yeah. Do you keep a winning team together, or Watford are going to have to go for things because they're in the bottom 3 again. I think
they have to win.
They have to win, so they have to go for it. And Roy Hodgson's their manager, who's not a manager who sends his teams out to win all the time.
No.
So that would be an interesting one. They lost 4-1, didn't they, to Leicester? Is that right?
Was it Palace? I think it was Crystal Palace.
Yeah. Oh, his former team.
It was Zaha scored. Zaha scored 2 goals late on. They were 2-1. Yeah, I mean, look, Pepe had to come on, and I thought he did. I thought he did well, really well. I thought he was very dangerous. Okay, sometimes he doesn't know what he's going to do with the ball, but
neither does the defender.
Yeah, if he doesn't know, then how the defender can't defend against that.
Yeah.
And I thought he was dangerous. I thought he created a lot of panic in their box, and that's what you want. I think he's on the bench against Watford again. And I think if Smith Rowe is recovered, I think he plays instead of Martinelli on the left.
Yeah.
I think Watford will be more physical, and I think Smith Rowe he's better equipped to deal with that now. And Martinelli, I mean, that's okay, we've got a slim squad, but Martinelli and Pepe on the bench.
Oh, Yeah, absolutely.
That's dangerous. That is.
That's definitely good.
I can't remember what. Talk me through the equaliser. 82nd minute, something like that. 83 minutes. I don't know. I can't remember. 84.
Hold on a sec. Who scored? Oh, so it was Pepe, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there's some interplay down that side.
And Nketiah cut it back to him.
Or was it? Cut it back to him, and he sort of he controlled it with his first touch on the turn,
and then turned,
then kind of poked it home like the other side of the keeper. So
it was a good,
really well taken, really well worked.
The angle from behind the goal shows he had no margin for error between the keeper's hand and the post. Very similar to the Lacazette shot, which actually was a decent save. From Lacazette. I mean, I was annoyed that he hadn't scored it, but then when I saw the angle again from behind the goal, I thought actually that's a good save. He actually positioned it quite wide. He couldn't have gone any wider, and the keeper actually made a decent save.
Good keeper, Sarr, for them.
He is very good goalkeeper. Very good goalkeeper. So that was it, and I like the response. The response was get the ball back, put it down for the kid, and I think that's right in the attitude. I was busy trying to save my glasses from smashing to pieces on the floor. I did. I pulled off a Ramsdale-esque save.
There was no chance of it. I don't know if you remember this, but a few years ago when it was after. Do you remember Giroud scoring the scorpion kick against Palace on New Year's Day?
I was watching it. I wasn't at the game.
I was at that game, and I took my father-in-law to that one actually, and he still talks about that. He was so pleased to have seen that and been there for that. But anyway, the next week we were away at Bournemouth. And Giroud scored the equaliser to make it 2-2. We'd gone down 2-0 really quickly and then finally got it back to 2-2. But when Giroud scored the equaliser at 2-2, him and Oxlade-Chamberlain went running off towards the away end, mimicking the scorpion kick. Whereas Alexis Sanchez was in the background going, what are you doing? Get the ball. We could win this. And it just summed up the whole thing at the time, where the attitude was the likes of, Giroud and Oxlade-Chamberlain were just like posing. And we had Alexis Sanchez, who was like a winner at the time, who just wanted to do something different. So that harmony wasn't there. But the whole team, we scored that equaliser tonight. And Pepe's like, get the ball. Let's go. Let's try and win this. And that was great.
And that's, again, it just points to that spirit again, that mentality, which you can't buy, and which is why Aubameyang had to go.
We did. We paid 72 million for Pepe. We paid 50 million for Ben White.
We also paid 60 million for Aubameyang and 30 million for Mustafi, and
we didn't pay a penny for Saka and Smith Rowe. So.
No, we didn't. And that's the youth angle. That's the youth elements as well.
I tell you what, Tierney for 25 million as well.
Yeah, that's
in the current market.
Yeah,
that's a freaking steal.
It is. Yeah, it is. And so, how confident were you? I mean,
what, of getting a second?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't believe we got the first. There's no way we were getting a second.
I had. I just thought we were playing a lot better than I think you thought we were playing.
If anything, I was more expecting Wolves to get a second when we'd equalised. I didn't think Wolves were scoring a second before we equalised.
I did.
What? That's my head.
But I did text you, didn't I? I did message you rather, and I said, don't lose it trying to win it.
And I assumed that's what was going to happen. We were going to be pushing, and then they'd hit us on the counter. And someone like Neves would get his bloody winner and rub it in our faces. But instead, we're rubbing it in his face because he's...
I know, it was just off the charts. I mean, I said to Indigo that I haven't celebrated a feeling like that in a long time. It was.
I haven't celebrated like that watching it on telly.
Yes,
for a long time.
of course, yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. It was. Definitely. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I got, practically threw a baby in the air whilst trying to celebrate a goal, and having to exercise extreme degrees of restraint. And do you know what? I must admit, I kept saying, when the Saka, even before the Saka effort that was well saved in like the 92nd, 93rd minute, whenever it was, we had a couple of little forays forward, and I kept saying, like, it's too early. It's too early. It's too early. That's how I managed to get myself through the disappointment of that particular moment, by saying, no, it's too early, because I don't trust us not to concede. If we go 2-1 up, I don't trust us not to concede an equaliser. I was there. I was at the game where we scored the latest ever Premier League goal at home to Liverpool. It was at like the 97th minute.
I thought they scored it.
No,
because
yes. That's my story.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I was there when we scored the latest ever Premier League goal. 2 minutes later, I was still there when Liverpool scored the latest ever Premier League goal. Aboué did a kamikaze tackle in the box, and it was a penalty. And it was a 1-1 draw or something like that. I can't remember.
It was 1-1.
So
111th minute.
There you go. There you go. See, right. So I was also at the Emirates, and I was sat there lauding it over the Spurs fans. 4-2 up into stoppage time, into 4 minutes of stoppage time, and we still didn't win that game. So the only silver lining to that particular game was that none of the Spurs fans were in the stadium to see it, which was hilarious in itself. So I can pretend it didn't happen. And so I was thinking, like, 92 minutes with 4 minutes left. That's too early. It's too early to score the winner. Let's wait. Obviously not expecting it to actually ever arrive, but it did. And so remind me, what was the... I don't remember the second goal. I know
I remember the shot.
Yeah,
and it going in, but I don't remember any of the build-up.
I don't. So this is good.
Yeah. What I remember about the injury time is being impressed by Nketiah's effort.
Yes.
Because to me, he's looked like he's just phoning it in.
Yeah.
Seeing out his contract, but actually he came on. He did put himself about. He won the ball back a couple of times. Obviously linked up, got the assist. I just want to see more of that. You know, there's an element of, he does feel like he's a kind of throwback striker who's waiting for that chance to come to him. And I just don't think football's been played like that for some time now. No. And, you can probably get away with it in the under 21s and the under 18s, but not at top level. You think of all the best strikers, whether it is Salah or Aguero, Kane, Cavani. I'm just thinking of all those sort of not so much Lukaku after his few touches at the weekend, but those players have to put themselves about. Jimenez, even for Wolves, is a good example. They are part of a team that defends and attacks together, and whereas Nketiah has always looked like he's kind of just jogging everywhere. Tonight,
if you look at the goals the teams he scores against, is teams that we dominate, so we create a lot more chances against the League Cup games. So he's going to have that chance is going to come to him. It's more likely to come to him because we just create more chances. Whereas, all those other strikers you mentioned, they have so much more to their game than that kind of fox in the box striker. But he did, I thought he made a difference today. I really did. And it's like, for me, I compare him a little bit to Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and I just think there's a really talented player there, but the attitude's it's too comfortable.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah,
and I think that was the atmosphere around the club that Arteta had to dismantle. That kind of, where's no accountability? Now you've got players shouting in your face if you made a mistake. Not like Gabriel today. Nobody shouted in his face. He got a lot of actual kind of support, and rightly so, because he's been immense for us this season. And that was, everyone makes a mistake, and that was he. As a centre back, you make a mistake, you're more likely to concede a goal.
It would have been such a shame to have you know, at some point we're going to lose and drop points here and there. But it feels like it's been a long time since we've dropped points because of a howler.
Yeah,
yeah. You know, we have had them this season, and they never go away from football. But there was a period, like you say, the Mustafi era is probably exemplified. But even, you know, you talked about Aboué earlier with that thing against Liverpool. Just felt like there was a whole era.
David Luiz is another one that you know he's gonna. It was Wolves away, wasn't it?
Andre Santos. Oh. All these names from the past that will forever sort of, you know.
I can go further back to my era and a centre back who would bring you out in a cold sweat. And you go back to the 1987. What year did we win it? 87 or 88? We were in back finals in the League Cup, and we lost to Luton 3-2 or something. And it was Gus Caesar.
Oh, Gus Caesar, yeah.
Oh, it was like what? And Nigel Winterburn missed a penalty as well. Like, and we beat Liverpool. What year did we beat Liverpool? 87. We beat Liverpool. Charlie Nicholas.
I was 3, so I don't remember.
I was a little bit older than 3. 14. Yeah, 14. 87. I think 87 was when we beat Liverpool 2-1. Charlie Nicholas. Actually, talk about records as well. It was the first time Liverpool lost a game where Ian Rush scored.
Nice.
And Charlie Nicholas got 2 goals. Well, he was credited with 2 goals. The second one, or the first, I can't remember which one it was definitely an own goal, but he got the 2 goals, and so rightly so as well. It was nice. And I think that was 87. I can't remember, 87 or 88 anyway.
Was that the year we played? Did we play Tottenham in a previous round?
Yeah, and Rocastle scored and Ian Allinson scored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure I've heard some of the ex-players talk about on the radio or after dinner or something about the fact that after the first leg, Tottenham were advertising tickets.
Yeah, absolutely no, because it was
crazy.
It was half time in the second leg at White Hart Lane. They won the first leg 1-0 at our ground. They were 1-0 up in the second leg at their ground, so they were 2-0 up. Am I right? Oh God, am I right? As they were walking off the pitch at half time, the tannoy was announcing where the Tottenham fans can get their tickets from for the final. So George Graham heard that.
Yeah.
There's your half-time team talk.
Yeah.
And we left it late, and it went to extra time. And Ian Allinson, who still lives around here somewhere, but he is he managing? Is it his son? Yeah, I think Ian Allinson's son's managing a non-league club somewhere. But he's still for that goal alone, he's talked about it in a very glowing fashion, like from the Arsenal fan base.
Well, absolutely. I mean, my first memory of us winning trophies would be '93 when we did the Cup
Kings.
FA Cup thing.
Yeah.
And of course, the player from that one is Andy Linnigan. And
Steve Morrow. Come on.
Yes, because he broke his bloody elbow.
Well, Tony Adams broke his elbow or shoulder or whatever it was. Andy Linnigan. And the thing about, he scored that winner in stoppage time. Stoppage time at the end of extra time, like it was going to penalties.
He was in the replays.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But you know who he went up for the header with? You know who he won the header against?
Mark Bright.
Yeah, Mark Bright. And you know the kind of the nice little quirk there is that he actually played most of that game with a broken nose because Mark Bright had elbowed him earlier on in the game.
Oh, I don't remember that detail, but
so for him to actually, I've got to say, because you just reminded me that, because the DVD that came out, no, it wasn't DVD, it was a video that came out.
Definitely a video.
It was called Cup Kings. I've still got it in Ireland somewhere.
Nice.
But I must say, on Amazon Prime, even though the picture quality was pretty average where I was watching it, just Jim Rosenthal, that his voice is just filled with nostalgia. I just loved it. When I saw him there, I thought, I just closed my eyes, I was trying to listen to his voice. even though I didn't agree with some of the things he was saying. However, it was just wonderful to see him. And of course, I had to make him relevant to the other people in the room with me. So I said, well, he's the dad of
the guy from
one
Friday
of the brothers in Friday Night Dinner. Oh, right, okay. But he's not his dad. He's a football screen legend in his own right.
Yeah.
For years and years. So that was lovely. I just like hearing his voice. I haven't seen him on. I haven't watched much Amazon Prime. I don't know. Is he on it a lot or not?
Neither have I. I mean, we've only had Prime for a short time. I mean, the last time I saw Jim Rosenthal presenting anything would have been when we were in the Champions League years ago on like ITV4, maybe. You know,
Okay.
as sort of like lesser group games. And yeah, so he's not been around for ages. And they've got Clive Tilsley on the commentary as well.
Yeah, again, absolutely. Yeah, it's nice to have a bit of variation from. I suppose we're kind of so used to Martin Tyler and a couple of the BBC guys. Can't think of the names now.
Jonathan Pearce.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Nearly crashed my car in Dublin listening to Jonathan Pearce commentating an Arsenal game once because he was radio in Dublin used to get their transmission of the game or broadcast of the game from I think it was London Radio he was on, so it was very Arsenal biased. I nearly crashed the car. We scored a goal with him commentating. He got so excited. I did too. So like at utter bedlam, I want to go back and watch it again. So I want to see the celebrations properly because I was too preoccupied with not harming anyone in the room to really, and you know, punching and like yes, and you know, all of those things you do when you scored a goal and you've got this complete release. So I want to go and watch it again. But here we are. What's your kind of, with no game this weekend, from memory, Spurs are at Leeds, United are at home to Watford. Those, as much as we'd like to think they might drop points in those games, it's not going to happen. There's 3 points come from it, which kind of accentuated the need to win tonight for us because there would have been a bit of a distance if we hadn't.
Although I didn't really expect Spurs to lose at Burnley.
Yeah, I don't know if you have many Spurs fans at your school. I have a ton of them at my school, and today was a good day. They were very quiet. In fact, the loudest one of them, funnily enough, did not turn up in my classroom today. No, I didn't like investigate that too much.
That was so funny. I couldn't believe what was quite funny was Conte's comments afterwards.
Oh, what? Yeah.
If there's a problem with the manager, I'm ready to go. So in other words, I'm not going to quit because I know I'll get a massive payoff if I don't. So just sack me because it's not. This isn't good. Someone
tweeted that Conte could be the first manager in the history of football to sack the club. That which I thought was a brilliant way of looking at it. Yeah, I mean, how
the problem is, where did they go? Where did they go after this?
Well, the kids at my school, some of them are saying Pochettino. Like,
why would he leave PSG?
Well, why would he leave PSG for Tottenham, Manchester United,
and also why would you go to Spurs?
Yeah,
you know, because Levy's already proved that he's not going to invest a shed load of money in order to revamp that squad. Because let's face it, Lloris is getting on. They probably need an entire new defence. All right, they've got something of a spine going forward because Højbjerg's, you know, he's a tidy sort of Premier League midfielder. And obviously they've still got the Kane and Son axis. But Kane has probably blown his chance to go to a big club.
Well, City won't go for him. Haaland is coming up.
Absolutely not. So he could end up at United. And of course, you know, Pochettino could sort of filter in over there anyway. And I just think no manager, they've done the big manager thing. They got Nuno as a guy to come in and try and harness the team thing. Didn't work. So then they went for a big name manager. They got Antonio Conte, a proven winner everywhere he's gone. I'm not a huge fan of him, if I'm honest.
No, not his style, no.
He's a bit blood and thunder, and he always leaves a club after 2 years because he just wants to spend. He's all about the first team. He's not really a club manager. He's a good team manager. I get that, and he is a winner. So I wouldn't necessarily knock him, but yeah. And even he's just kind of like, I can't do anything with this. What is going on? It's just so funny.
Did I? No, I can't remember who I said this to, but I saw again tweeted, which I thought was hilarious. It was a brilliant tweet. Another Tottenham anti-Tottenham tweet, but with the degree of intelligence behind it or humour behind it. It says they hope Tottenham sack Conte and get Pep Guardiola in because they want to see how many games it will take them to destroy him. I thought that was like really good. It's like, because it's about the club. And there's a great video. Someone's done online. Someone's done like a 2-minute short story of Tottenham, and it includes Chiellini. Remember his interview afterwards when he actually says, "This is what Tottenham do. They create lots of chances, they score, and then they concede." And I think he even said the word Spursy. And I like, that's brilliant. Like so this term Spursy that we kind of coined years ago, it's now in
Europe-wide.
It's in the football vernacular now. It's there. It's brilliant. Like, I love it. But yeah, so how confident are you now that have you frozen? You've frozen. We have Houston, we have connection problems. Oh, you're there. No, you moved again.
Hello.
Oh, yay, he hasn't gone. Oh, it says now your internet connection is unstable. As in my internet. Right, I don't know. I'm right next to the router here, so I can't do much more in terms of
no worries.
Okay. Anyway, so we haven't got a game this weekend.
No.
How confident are you now of, if I said to you now, bullet gun to your head, what's our final resting place at the end of the season? What would you say? Fifth. Is that fifth losing out to United?
Probably, yeah. I think just because they are a couple of games in hand ahead, and are they in the Europa League still?
United are in the Champions League.
No, I mean West Ham.
Sorry.
United.
Yes, they're still in the Europa League. I believe they're still in the Europa League, but I haven't seen their fixtures, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. As for Man United, yeah.
Can I read out their March fixtures for you?
Go on then.
Well, I have to find them first, but they are like ridiculous. Okay. Yeah. So because I think that at the moment, if we're losing out, we're losing out to United in fourth. I think I agree with you at the moment. If I had a gun held to my head.
The issue for me with United is, and I watched them against Atletico the other night, a good result out there, obviously, but they really are a team of individuals.
Yes.
But however, those individuals are good enough to see them over the line. Because there's so many of them there, they're almost the antithesis of what we are.
Yeah.
Where we are greater than the sum of our parts.
Yes.
We don't have any much depth beyond that, and so I think ultimately, sadly, football wins out. I think they've proven it statistically that. Basically, those options.
Right. Can you say, Stefan? Can you say that statistically proven again? Because it glitched completely.
Sorry, yeah. Statistically, they've shown that basically the wage bill, whoever's got the biggest wage bill, whoever gets paid the most, that kind of decides the order of the league, give or take a position or two here. I know Liverpool have probably been punching a bit. Well, compared to Man City and Chelsea, but still,
that's a bit of a worrying statistic for us because we've halved our wage bill in the last 18 months.
Well, but at the same time, we were underperforming because we had a high wage bill and we were, you know, we weren't in the top four. So
right, Man United's March fixtures. Away to Man City, home to Spurs, home to Atletico Madrid, and away to Liverpool.
ooh,
That's
lovely.
hang on, I'm just going into April. Okay, right, April then. Home to Leicester, away to Everton. Now, I'm saying away to Everton's like it's a dangerous game now, but it might be, again, like us away at Watford. Everton away is going to be almost a must-win game for Everton, perhaps.
Yeah.
Then they're home to Norwich, and then they're away to us. That's the 23rd of April. That's
going to be a big game.
That's a big game.
That's a big game.
Yeah, that is. Do you want our March fixtures?
Well, I know we've got Leicester. Oh no, sorry, Watford, Leicester, Villa away.
There's one in between Leicester and Villa, a nice small one.
Oh, they've put Liverpool there, haven't they?
They have indeed.
Yeah.
So
it's not getting easier, is it?
No, and then into April, then we're away to Palace, which is always a bit of a banana skin for us. Home to Brighton, away to Southampton, home to United, away to West Ham. That's a tough run, that is.
The problem with us is it's like the Wolves games, really. Yes, we could beat these teams, but I can also easily see us losing and dropping points to almost all of them.
Yeah.
So it is just a case of, you know, us making predictions at this point is a bit of a folly.
There's so many games.
I think it really is going so deep in the season. You know, unless a couple of teams like Brighton and West Ham and maybe even Spurs really fall away, we're going to be in that mix until May, late May.
Well, yeah, I mean, we are 6 points clear of Spurs now, same games played. That's a bit of daylight.
Yeah.
With a 12 goals better difference than them.
With Spurs to play.
Yeah.
And so well, here's the thing then. How about this? How about looking the other way? 2 games in hand on Chelsea, one of which is Chelsea, and we're only 5 points behind them.
Yeah.
So win the game in hand, beat Chelsea, we're above them.
Yeah, no, I think Chelsea are looking over their shoulders. I mean, I must admit,
I almost said that without laughing.
I took you seriously.
Yeah, I did.
But
although
Chelsea just beat. I was really annoyed. Chelsea got a last-minute winner against Crystal Palace because I was thinking that if they'd drawn that game, that would really have dragged them back to us.
Yeah. Well, it would be 2 points now, wouldn't it?
It would be 3 points
Sorry,
if they'd drawn. Yeah. Yeah. Look, what we 24 games.
Be exciting.
So we had 17 cup finals when the transfer window closed. We've played 3 and we've won 3.
Yep.
You can't ask for more than that.
Not really. No, it's good.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to take this tension till the end of the season. And I think what's worse is we haven't been going to games as regularly. We've had, like, I think they said on commentary, we've had 5 league games since Christmas or something like that.
It's March next week.
And it's March next week. It's just ridiculous. Normally the January, February period is so busy and we just haven't had it. So we're also, I don't know, we could be in a good situation physically, but at the same time, I'm going to be so tense.
Yeah, but we're not the team that's going to win comfortably 3 or 4 to any team.
No.
So we have to. Yeah, how many of our so our 3 wins since the end of January have been by a single goal.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me have a look. You go further back. So February 2-1, 1. Okay, go to January. So we drew at Burnley. We lost 2-1 to City. Let's go to December then. Okay, well, actually, in December I can't believe that. Why did you let me do that? I've just looked at us losing to United and Everton in the same week.
Yeah.
I'm still not. I'm not. I'm not over that yet. But
We're
apart
on a
from
good run after that. You know,
yeah, we did
Southampton
like
3-0, West
Southampton
Ham
3-0,
2-0,
yeah,
Leeds
4-1,
4-1, Norwich 5-0.
Sunderland 5-1 in the quarterfinal of the cup as well in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, right. I think we've I use the word deliberately exhausted the chat for this game because I'm now I think I'm on my down. It's like I am going to go and watch it again.
I'm definitely going to read all sorts of comments and post-match interviews and just watch the celebrations at the end.
I have to watch. That's what I have to watch. I have to watch that again. Like the last. Actually, if I can do it on Amazon Prime, I don't know. I couldn't pause it and I couldn't rewind it.
Right.
In game rather, which was a frustration. But I would happily sit down now and watch it from the 82nd minute. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. I shall find a way. Right. Okay. So when are we on again? It's the Watford game. You say is that Saturday?
Watford game. Yeah. I wish I'd got a ticket now. I'm well up for that. But
is it a Saturday 3 o'clock?
No, Sunday 2 o'clock.
Sunday 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
So chat before tea. We can do it.
Yeah, we can get an early one in. Yeah, sure.
Right on the whistle.
Right, you've timed this.
Assume.
Go on.
No. I just said we could watch it on the whistle, assuming it's a comfortable win.
What do they say about assume? You make an ass out.
Makes an ass out.
Yeah, like no. Yeah.
I never assume that when it comes to Arsenal.
No, it's a safer route indeed. Okay, right. Wicked, awesome. That's brilliant. Lovely to. I mean, you're working tomorrow. I'm not. Sorry about that. But it's a great way to end the week. I'm absolutely shattered. Gone. Completely.
But happy. That's the main thing.
I will sleep like a baby tonight. Now, that's a ridiculous statement or expression. Sleep like a baby. I can hear one of them crying.
Yeah, so you really probably won't sleep.
They don't sleep.
Because your babies don't sleep like babies.
No. Anyway, brilliant. Right, cool. I don't care anyway. I don't care if I get no sleep tonight. It's all good.
Take that, Neves.
Yeah, indeed. All right, have a good one. Enjoy your have a good weekend, etc. See you next week. Bye.
Cheers.